Hello. Welcome to this special compilation of episodes from Crazy Insane Radio. Here you will see the best episodes of Crazy Insane Radio featuring three of the main characters: IMOGENE SLOWKOWSKI, TOMAC, and LEDSTUFF GOWELL. IMOGENE SLOWKOWSKI is a columnist at the Murgatroyd Times and also appears almost nightly at CRZY News reading her column or doing commentary on current events in Murgatroyd. TOMAC hosts a variety talk show that airs on CRZY there in Murgatroyd City. LEDSTUFF GOWELL does pop star interviews of the lead singers of various pop star bands. Enjoy this compilation of episodes.
By IMOGENE SLOWKOWSKI. Hi, little ladies, and all you other art fans out there. This is IMOGENE SLOWKOWSKI here to warn you to stay away from the latest so-called art exhibit, and this time the guy calling himself an artist is none other than our local wannabe poser, Blatt Sun. Let me tell you this much, honey, if this crap that Blatt Sun puts out is considered art, then I am the Mona Lisa. And now let me dissect this gutter trash that tries to masquerade as modern art. First of all, the piece called Ballerina with a skin-diseased left leg made me want to regurgitate. But not to worry, the rest of Blatt Sun's exhibit is as disgusting and repulsive as the first painting. Aging homosexual male reminded me of half of the old lechers who hung out in Dead Center Park when I was a little girl. And the only problem is, aging homosexual male bears a striking resemblance to Count Pedestrian III. And since local gossip has it that Blatt Sun was unceremoniously kicked out of Count Pedestrian's mansion, I'll let you be the judge of who you think the portrait was based on. But oh, little lady, it doesn't stop there. No. My. The next outrage is titled Lazy Train Engineer on a Rainy Day in Spain. Honey, I have been to Spain and no train engineer I ever saw looked as abject and pathetic as this poor dear soul. I can tell you firsthand that a rainy day in Spain never looked this desolate and bleak. So, my dear art fans, save your time, save your money, and by all means save your eyes. If real art is supposed to be eye candy, this is a bitter piece of the worst licorice ever produced. Blatt Sun, stop insulting real artists by claiming to be one. Go get a real job. IMOGENE SLOWKOWSKI here from the Murgatroyd Times. I am now a regular here on CRZY, reading my new column daily. Today's column is titled Honestly Now, Heavens to Murgatroyd by IMOGENE SLOWKOWSKI. Honestly now, little lady, when I was growing up we didn't have living paper dolls appearing on talk shows and demanding human rights. We didn't have a cult of naive skateboarders rallying to her defense like you see today in Dead Center Park. And a liberal mass media all too eager to jump on the bandwagon of this outrageous mess. I have no doubts that talk show host TOMAC's ratings went through the roof when this living paper doll waltzed across his stage just like she was somebody. What's this world coming to? Heavens to Murgatroyd. Here we have an artificial life form, a dadgum paper doll of all things, is being championed as the latest cause celeb. If this paper doll has human rights, people, then by God I am the Statue of Liberty. Thank you. This has been IMOGENE SLOWKOWSKI. Imogene SLOWKOWSKI here at CRZY. I thought I had seen it all, little lady, but this latest outrage from Blatson is even more disgusting than this previous art exhibit. Yes, our local wannabe artist has now staked his dubious claim to fame on championing this vile creature called Flashy the Paper Doll. So here we have a degenerate artist elevating a degenerate life form to cult status. By doing an art exhibit which glorifies this base scrap of subhuman garbage, Blatson in effect is simply creating more garbage masquerading as modern art. My father, Dr. Hubert SLOWKOWSKI, is absolutely correct when he denounces Flashy as an abomination. The ghastly little thing was artificially created in a laboratory. She is the result of science gone wild, the freak product of a bio-research outfit tampering with things that humanity has no business tampering with. And the so-called attempt to locate and apprehend her has fallen as flat as everything else coming from Flat Town and Murgatroyd always does. Mayor Perensky should resign. And this joke of a detective, Lieutenant Skitters, can't even manage to locate and apprehend a damn paper doll, much less the Murgatroyd serial killer that has claimed 21 victims in the past 4 years. Honestly now, time to shut your windows and lock your doors, little lady. The lunatics of Murgatroyd have very definitely taken over this asylum called Murgatroyd. This has been Imogene SLOWKOWSKI at CRZY News. Have a very good evening, little ladies. Good night. Little ladies. Imogene SLOWKOWSKI here at CRZY tonight. At long last, I am going to take on the jerk who has been terrorizing Murgatroyd for 4 years now. That lame, pitiful excuse of a man who has been labeled the Murgatroyd serial killer. Why does he prey upon innocent young women at random, you might ask? I will tell you why. It is because this ineffectual loser is incapable of meeting and carrying on a normal relationship with a woman. He is probably impotent, completely incapable of satisfying a woman even if he tried, so he uses a knife instead of that other tool that most normal men use all too effectively. This pathetic pervert attacks women violently because he is incapable of making love to them. So here we are, 21 victims later, because some deranged, maladjusted jerk cannot function normally. Honestly now, when is Lieutenant Skitters finally going to identify and apprehend this demented, pathetic creep? Honestly now, lock your windows and doors, little lady. And keep them locked while this dreadful loser continues to stalk Murgatroyd City. This has been Imogene SLOWKOWSKI. Thank you, little ladies, for listening tonight. Have a good evening now, everyone.
Talk shoes. Recorded live.
Well, so, Imogene SLOWKOWSKI, you couldn't be satisfied just taking on the mayor and paper dolls. You had to go after me, you vile wench, questioning my masculinity, not recognizing the magnificence of my work. There you are, all high and mighty, in your little ivory news tower, looking down on everyone else. And like the rest of these fools in Murgatroyd, I used to be one of your biggest fans until you started calling me names, telling the world I'm a pathetic loser. Well, yes, I chose my first 21 victims at random, Imogene, but now you're going to be my first non-random victim. Yes, Imogene, I'm coming for you, and you will be the next victim of the Murgatroyd serial killer.
People of Murgatroyd. Imogene SLOWKOWSKI here. It would seem that when I went on the air the other night and told the Murgatroyd serial killer what a worthless piece of human scum that he is, I must have hit a raw nerve. I have been receiving death threats over the phone, in emails, and even in the snail mail. Well, listen, Buster, I am not afraid of human garbage such as you, and I do not intend to roll over and cower in fear. We women of Murgatroyd are tired of living in fear because of a twisted pervert like you, and now we are fighting back. I urge every woman in Murgatroyd to keep a knife or a gun or a can of mace, and if this pathetic creep attacks you, let him have it. Make this sorry loser very, very sorry that he chose to attack you. Make this impotent, worthless, pathetic piece of human garbage sorry that he ever attacked a woman of Murgatroyd. Fight back, little ladies, fight back. If this creep attacks me, I intend to gouge the bastard's eyes out. You do the same if he attacks you, little lady.
Breaking news bulletin alert from CRZY News. A biotech lab here in Murgatroyd City located in the offices of Dr. Lawrence Gitrick have been surrounded by Murgatroyd police, including a SWAT team. Lieutenant Skitters is in charge of the force which are attempting to enter the lab offices to apprehend Flashy the paper doll and the new wooden creature which was seen entering the laboratory earlier. We repeat, a large force of Murgatroyd police are attempting to enter the biotech lab offices of Dr. Gitrick to apprehend Flashy the paper doll and the wooden creature which attacked skateboarders in Dead Center Park recently. This is Humilla's son at CRZY News, and we will bring you more updates on this situation as they become.
The exciting talk show right here in Murgatroyd City. And tonight, Les Tomac's first guest is the famous or infamous, depending upon your point of view, Flashy the paper doll. That's right, folks. No matter what you may believe, there really is a living, breathing paper doll, and she is here tonight making her first television appearance right here on the Les Tomac Show.
Welcome to the show, folks. You're a lively audience tonight, and that's wonderful because we've got a real live one here tonight. Yes, that's right. A living, talking, walking paper doll. We're not kidding. Those reports you heard of Flashy the paper doll, walking around Murgatroyd through Dead Center Park, those skateboarders who are protesting in her favor, yes, ladies and gentlemen, there really is a living, walking, breathing paper doll. And it's Flashy. And Flashy's our guest here tonight. And I want all of you to give a resounding welcome to Flashy. Of course, I'll be asking her questions, and she's going to be talking to all of us and telling all of us exactly what it's like to be a paper doll. And, of course, she's going to focus in on the hard issues, too. The prejudice that's being directed toward her and the movement that's out there to try to protect her. So, ladies and gentlemen, here's Flashy the paper doll.
Thanks for the warm welcome, the warm introduction. You have no idea how risky this appearance on your show is for me. The senator is looking for me. The mayor is out to get me. Gosh darn, I must have a death wish to even show here tonight. Thank you for all the security people, Les. I just hope I can get out of here in one piece tonight. Oh boy.
Flashy, Flashy, Flashy. So glad that you're here, Flashy, and the audience loves you to death. I won't let the mayor get you, Flashy, and I won't let the senator get you either, Flashy. And again, I understand and I appreciate that you took a great deal of risk to be here on my show tonight. And so I'm just going to ask you point blank, Flashy, how do you feel about these people that are against you? What's your opinion of Senator Devane, of Mayor Paransky, of this Dr. Hubert SLOWKOWSKI? Tell us, Flashy. What do you think about these people?
Since you ask me, Les, I will tell you. The illustrious Senator Devane is a prejudiced jerk. And Murgatroyd's Mayor Paransky is an angry idiot. And this so-called Dr. Hubert SLOWKOWSKI might as well be a torture priest from the Spanish Inquisition. So do you have any more questions you would like to ask me, Les?
Les TOMAC here. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. I'm sorry we couldn't have Flashy the Paper Doll back on again tonight, but as you know, she and her wooden boyfriend are on the run. But we have as our guest tonight the young French art critic, prodigy, LEDSTUFF. And he's going to talk to us about Blatson's art, our own local artist, Blatson. But first, ladies and gentlemen, let me bring out and introduce you to the existential comedian. Come on out here. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, audience, hello. Why am I here? Why am I here? Why am I here? Well, on the surface level, because Les TOMAC invited me. But on a deeper level, because my mom got pregnant during the New York blackout. Well, the third reason that I'm here, ladies and gentlemen, is because the taxi driver was quick enough to avoid a collision near Dead Center Park. Les TOMAC was too cheap to hire a limo to bring me here. Thanks, Les. Anyway, the fourth reason I'm here is because I couldn't get invited to anybody else's show. Thanks, Les. So anyway, why am I wearing what I'm wearing? Well, you may think it's a 70s retro thing, but there was oil in that taxi cab seat, and on the way, I got the driver to stop at OK Will, and I grabbed this old leisure suit. Great Will was already closed, but OK Will was still open. We didn't have a Goodwill here in this town. You know, Murgatroyd. Anyway, I just want to tell all of you fine people in the audience that being here reminds me of being a kid again, sitting on the floor staring at my mom's left foot while she painted her toenails. Yes, this reminds me of my mom's left foot. It just didn't go anywhere, just like this act isn't going anywhere. All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This has been the Existential Comedian. Thank you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to the young art critic prodigy from France, LEDSTUFF. Je suis LEDSTUFF. LEDSTUFF, c'est moi. Yes, first of all, I think that Americans, particularly residents of Murgatroyd, just do not understand what Blatson is trying to say, what he's trying to do. In the ballerina with a diseased left leg, that is a commentary on modern society. That diseased left leg, that's the plight of women in American society. That's what that represents. That's what it is, fine people. And the lazy engineer on a rainy day in Spain. Well, that's addressing the angst that people worldwide feel. It's a commentary on angst. That's what that represents. You can see it all over the lazy engineer's face. Yes, I think Blatson is ahead of his time. He's a herald. He's bringing postmodernism to new heights. That's what I have to say. And je suis LEDSTUFF. LEDSTUFF, c'est moi. Thank you, LeChance. Thank you, Existential Comedian. And, of course, thank you, audience. And now we have
Bulletin
a news
alert.
bulletin coming.
CRZY News Bulletin Alert. Humila Sun here. Dr. Hubert SLOWKOWSKI of the Divine Humanity Cathedral is apparently missing. Members of the group report that Dr. SLOWKOWSKI has not been seen for the past 3 days, his vehicle is gone, and there is no sign of him at either the temple or the rectory. It is believed at this point in time that he may be the latest victim of the Murgatroyd serial killer, although no body has been found as of yet and authorities are not ruling out the possibility of a kidnapping. Dr. Hubert SLOWKOWSKI is a prominent local figure here in Murgatroyd and a father of Murgatroyd Times columnist and CRZY News commentator IMOGENE SLOWKOWSKI. We repeat, Dr. Hubert SLOWKOWSKI is apparently missing. More details later as information becomes available. Humila Sun at CRZY News.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, audience, television viewers. It's the TOMAC show. And boy, have we got a show for you tonight. This band that's going to be performing here for us tonight, they had one hit after another, and then they kind of faded out for a while. But they've made an incredible comeback with Sad Girl Crying in the Rain. And that is none other than Fling, Jammerson, and the Stud Puppy. I broke your heart. You went to Arby's. And when we broke up, you fled to Mickey D's. Now we're apart. I see you at Dairy Queen. And just last night at Dairy Queen. Oh, she's a sad, hungry girl, crying in the rain. Oh, she's a sad, hungry girl, crying in the rain. You broke down and you cried at the Chinese buffet. Then I saw you down at Taco Bell just yesterday. I miss the good meals. What can I say? But it takes a lot more than some good food to make me stay. Sad, sad girl, crying in the rain. Yes, she's a sad, hungry girl, crying in the rain. Whoa, 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 whoa.
I broke your heart. You went to Arby's. And when we broke up, you fled to the keys. Now we're apart. I see you at Dairy Queen. And just last night at Dairy Queen. Oh, she's a sad, hungry girl, crying in the rain. Oh, she's a sad, hungry girl, crying in the rain. You broke down and you cried at the Chinese buffet. Then I saw you down at Taco Bell just yesterday. I need the good meals. What can I say? But it takes a lot more than some good food to make me stay. Sad, sad girl, crying in the rain. Yes, she's a sad, hungry girl, crying in the rain. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Well, this is just too much, IMOGENE. Yes, even though you won't believe it and you'll keep pointing the finger at me, this time I didn't do it. Somebody beat me too, dear old daddy. Oh, yes. I went to the Cathedral of Divine Humanity, trying to find your father. But Dr. Hubert SLOWKOWSKI was being whisked out by some strange figures. I don't know who they were. They didn't see me. I was crouching, hiding. They took your father away, IMOGENE. Of course, the press will have a field day pointing the finger at me and blaming me, as you already have and you're begging, whining, and pleading for your dear father. Don't worry, Imogene. I don't have him. I will get him one day, if I choose to. In the meantime, forces bigger and more powerful than I have taken your father. Who they are? Who knows? Goodbye, Imogene. This is the Murgatroyd serial killer. That's Tomac here, and this evening we have a very, very distinguished guest. We have none other than Dr. Getrick himself. So everybody give a good welcome to Dr. Getrick.
Well, absolutely, Les. Thank you for having me here on your show, Les. First of all, both Flashy the Paper Doll and Wood Pulp Boy represent an amazing breakthrough in modern science. They are both living, breathing artificially created life forms. They were created in my biotech laboratory, and they each possess human DNA. This outrageous overreaction from authorities and the government is just unbelievable. Flashy is harmless. The story has been put out that I was knocked unconscious by either Flashy or Wood Pulp Boy. I am here to set the record straight. I was knocked unconscious all right, but it was not by either one of them. It was an unknown assailant, a third party other than either Flashy or Wood Pulp Boy, who whacked me in the head with some kind of blunt object. When I finally came to, the SWAT team and Lieutenant Skitters were there in my laboratory, but Flashy and Wood Pulp Boy had already left. And quite frankly, I am glad that
LEDSTUFF Gowell's Pop Star Interview number 337. Well, hello again, jaded reader. Today I have Fling Jamerson of the Stud Puppies as my guest. So the press has been having a field day with your love life. Tell us about it, Fling. Well, as you know, my first wife ran off with my drummer. I suppose it could have been a lot worse. She could have run off with the bass guitarist or something, but at least she picked a guy that has rhythm. That's very important, Fling, isn't it? Having rhythm. Oh, definitely. Absolutely. Certainly. For sure. There's all these dreadful people walking around who have no rhythm. I see them at the market, on the subway, walking down the street. I think, my, what abject lives they must have. So, Fling, tell us about your sixth wife who just left you. She told me she needed to regroup her mind and reprioritize her urges. I kind of wish she'd done that sooner. I threw my hip out giving her some of what she couldn't seem to get enough of. A real nympho, that one. Fling, there was some controversy, I recall, about your hit, Why Don't You Get You Some? And Come Get You Some More, wasn't there? Oh, yes, for heaven's sakes. There were all these goody-two-shoes soccer moms who didn't want their little tweens listening to the lyrics, and they created this idiotic overreaction. Yes, Fling, mamas against lewd lyrics in rock. Yes, that dreaded Mahler organization, M-A-L-L-I-R. They started boycotting concerts and record stores, and the bubblegum company that was sponsoring our tour pulled out on us. It was horrendous. LEDSTUFF Gowell's Pop Star Interview number 186. We're here, loyal, lovely reader, with Worse Rat of the Antagonist. So tell me, Worse Rat, about your latest hit, You Go, Sweetie. Well, I walked into this little quaint jewelry store, oh yes I did, and lo and behold, there was this cute little blonde girl wearing a trench coat working behind the counter. Oh yes she was. And every time I asked a question, she would answer it back and call me sweetie. Oh, yes, she did. So I ran back to the apartment. I'll never forget it was raining, and I had forgotten a hat or an umbrella or anything. Oh, yes, I had. Anyways, when I got back to the flat, I turned the telly on and started flipping channels. And there comes Wendy Williams, bigger than Dallas. Oh, yes, she was. And she was like schmoozing this gal in the audience, telling her, "You go, girl." And I knew in that instance, oh, yes, I did, that I had found the title for our new song. And I started writing it immediately. Oh, yes, I did. I took the "You Go" from Wendy and added the "Sweetie" part from the gal at the jewelry store, and the rest just flowed naturally. And I wrote, "You go, sweetie," in about 5 minutes on the back of an old yellow legal pad. Pop star interview. Hey there, little listeners. Your solid sound man, LEDSTUFF Gowell here with another scintillating interview, this time with Farrell Stringer of the Yo-Yos. How in the world did you guys break into the pop scene, Farrell? Well, we were all strung out in the early days, you know. Things were really up and down for the Yo-Yos. And oh my God, I had just about had it until I woke up one night after having slept for like 72 hours. That's how we lived back then, awake for 4 days, asleep for 3. And all of a sudden I wrote our first hit on the back of a paper towel. Oh, I remember that one. "What you doing, little baby?" Went to the top of the charts like a bullet, Streamer. Yeah, that whiny falsetto at the end of that run was my idea. The other Yo-Yos thought I had gone bonkers, but the teeny boppers loved it and ate it up. Stringer, boy, did they ever. Is that how those glow-in-the-dark Yo-Yos got started at your concerts? Well, there was this sweet little groupie from Allentown, Pennsylvania, who threw out all her John Mellencamp records and ran off with our band. Gee, she was something. She was on this cute little yo-yo that had a whiny sound when you did the walk the dog with it. And, of course, it lit up and glowed in the dark. We all stayed pretty lit in those days, too. Pop interview number 449. And tonight, it's LEDSTUFF Gowell's historic interview with Monica Gdansk of the Silly Boys. I'm here, not so gentle reader, with the former lead singer of the Silly Boys, Monica Gdansk. So, Monica, tell me about the Silly Boys. Well, I was really unsure of myself when we first started, and I had this psychiatrist from San Diego who told me, "You will leave the group, but you will come back." Well, I took that as an omen and a prophecy of my destiny. So I did leave, and then I came back. Yes, Monica, I think you did that like 16 times? 17 times, actually. I'd leave the group, and then I'd come back. And every time, Monica, you did, your group had another hit. What do you attribute that to? Fate, destiny, the universe, and, of course, the hoopla and media hype every time I would come back didn't hurt either. Pop star interview number 6000 by LEDSTUFF Gowell. Today, for our historic interview number 6000, we have Wiggle Wrongly of the band Emaciated Butterfly. So tell me about yourself, Wiggle. Well, our band was named after this delicate little moth-like creature that fluttered into a cobweb by the window of my flat. it got stuck there, and I watched it for days as it slowly withered away, and I said, bingo, there's the name for our band. Wow, Wiggle. So tell me about the protest that your band got the broad idea when it made the remark publicly, emaciated butterfly is bigger than Buddha, that it would sell millions of records. Boy, was I ever wrong. Almost every night, all these Chinese and Tibetan monks were smashing and torching our records, having big demonstrations covered on international television. It was a fiasco and a disaster all rolled into one. But Wiggle? It created an artificial collector's market for all your early releases. Oh, yes. We figured so many thousands of our records were destroyed that there may only be 762 copies left in existence of our early hit. Baby, why do I cry? Some teenage groupie in Cleveland even sold a copy of it on eBay for $500.